Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming today. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for being here. This session is an introduction to Google Drive. So it's the basics of Google Drive. I have a little outline here I'm going to go through. Feel free to stop me in the context of the outline to ask questions. Please, I'd like to have people ask questions. We're recording this session, just so you know. Best practice is to tell people if you're recording a session. It's a legal thing too. So we're recording this session. Yeah, so I'm just going to start going off here. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Yeah, maybe I better say who I am. My name is Max Macias. I work for the IT department. I'm the trainer for the IT department. So yes, I also work for the library. I'm a librarian. That's my my calling. So yeah, we're not going to go through introductions today. We don't have enough time. So there's 19 people here. Great. Thank you so much for being here again. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So I want to talk about Google Drive. So to get to Google Drive, I can get there through this little menu right here, which is pretty consistent throughout all the Google apps. Google Apps on the top page, they usually have this little waffle menu. It's called the application launcher. But if I click on that, I get to the Drive right here. I prefer Drive over just Docs or just Forms, because Drive has Docs and Forms included in it. If I just open up Docs, I'm just going to have Docs. But anyway, I'm going to click on here. It's going to start up Drive. All right. So this is the priority page, and this is my Drive. Over here on the left, if you look on the left column, you'll see like a hierarchy. We're on my priority page right now, which is super sweet. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but everybody should have it now. And it's a way to organize your documents by project, by what you're working on at the current time. You can keep everything right there in a little box. These things are called workspaces, these little boxes here. And so I can create a workspace, a new workspace real quick. I can come here and click create and call this intro demo. Create it. It will give me a pop-up box that says, hey, okay, I've created your workspace, Max. What do you want to put in it? What files do you want to put in it? So I'll come here and click on add files, and it gives me this nice interface right here on the right with stuff that I've recently used. I think I'll pick this one, and then I'll pick this one too, and I'll pick this one right here. Insert. All right, so there's my files right there. And so they're kept right here in this workspace, right? Where is the one I just made? Right here. So yeah, it's a nice way to keep everything together for a project, right? Whenever I'm in Drive, I'm coming over to the left-hand side now in the hierarchy. Right under priority is my Drive. When I'm in here, you know, I have my folders. If I click this little arrow to the left of my Drive right here on the left column, it'll open up all my folders, right? I have a whole bunch of them. There's some down here in training. Open up, there's a whole bunch there. When I'm in Drive, it always feels like I have my blinders on or something. I can't see everything that I need. Even though I have folders, it's still like I got to click onto the folder and go in there to see what's in there. That's why I like the priority page, because it keeps everything right there on top in little groups. So let's say I'm done with my well, here, let me show you. I'm going to come back to my Drive. Let's say I want to add something from my Drive. I'm working, and I want to add this right here. Let's see here. This Google Meet training outline to a workspace. I just select it. I click on it, and it highlights it. See that highlight comes out right here. If I right-click on it, then I can add to workspace. And I'll put it in here, that one I just created. Now it will be in that workspace. Nice, right there. So that is helpful for me, the priority pages. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, geez, Google, not another thing. You're always giving me new things, and a lot of times they don't even make sense. So I kind of ignored it. But one of the first times I used it, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. It works pretty well. So there's that stuff. But back to my drive here. Does anybody have any questions about the workspace thing? Feel free. You can, if you unmute yourself, you can ask a question verbally. That would be best because it might get lost in the chat if you ask a question in the chat.
Is the priority folder private?
That's a great question. It's your private workspace. So yes, it's not shareable. That's something that's kind of cool though. That's not shareable. That would be cool. It's just your own private workspace to organize stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. If you're doing collaborative work with a group and you want to keep track of what's going on, I would suggest you use Keep, Google Keep. It's located over here on the right-hand side. It's a task list that you can share with other people. It's pretty sweet, but we're not going to cover that today. I might talk a little bit about that in the Google Advanced, the Google Docs Advanced. Go ahead.
I have a question. Deborah here. Hello.
Hey.
Is there any way we could, you could email a doc to us about all these steps, or
about what?
About the steps that you're going through now. Could you send it, or is that?
I don't have time to create it. I don't have anything created already made, but I can do this. I often do this.
Okay.
Spell it right.
Oh.
Let me see here. So a lot of times when you do a search, a lot of this top stuff is total junk. So look for the stuff from Google, support Google right here.
Okay.
So I'm going to click on that, and then I'll copy that URL, and I'm going to drop that URL in this chat box here. Within the chat. If you go there in the chat, you can click on that and save it. Do it now though, or just click on it now, because that chat, when that chat goes away, everything goes away. And if you left the conversation right now and you came back, it wouldn't be there for you. This chat thing is just like real-time chat.
So where is the chat? Where does it come up on my screen?
So if you see, can you see my screen up on top?
Yes.
There's a little people tab. It's got 21 people, and then directly to the right of that, there's like a little caption bubble.
It's so small. I'm looking.
Yeah, if you click on that caption bubble, it will open up the chat. See that? When I click on my screen, it opens up. All right. Any other questions on that? If not, I'm going to keep going here. Okay. All right. So there's also files in my drive, right? These files. Here's a project proposal. I can move these files to any of my folders over here, and I can click on it and I can drag it over. So let's see here, which one would be the appropriate one? Maybe the archive one. And just drop it in there. And there it is. I could also, though, I could right click on something. I highlight it, and then I'm going to right click on it. And then I get these commands. I get this menu. Pretty sweet menu. I'll do that again. Pretty sweet menu. And I can move stuff right here. I don't have to drag and drop. I could move stuff. And I could also select more than one document here. I could do this and then select either the command if you're on a Mac or the control key on a PC to select more than one at one time. Maybe I won't do that one. I'll do this one. And then this one. So now I have 3. See that? And now when I right click on here, I can move all 3 of them, move 2. And it gives me a little pop-up, and it'll show me the hierarchy of my folders. When it comes up, this little move here button will be here. And when it's ready, it says items already in this folder. So anyway, you can move it. So let me try to move it here. Try to move it here. All right, so I moved them all at one time. So you can select more than one file and move it all at one time. Okay, I'm gonna come back up here to the new button. All the way, not all the way at the top, but right below the drive thing. I'm gonna click new, and it's gonna say, hey, Max, what new thing do you want to create? Do you want to create a new folder? I'll create a new folder so we can see what that looks like. New folder 222, create, please. And it should come out in the hierarchy of my folders here. Yeah, there it is right there, alphabetical order. Cool. New, I want to upload a file. I click that, it'll say, like, what file do you want to upload, Max? And I'll find one. Let's see, I'll come in here. Maybe not that one. Come in here and I'll grab a file. It's a cheat sheet. Open. See, down here it shows that it's uploading it. And it'll say when it's done there, it's uploaded it. Now, if it's uploaded it down here, you see, and I can actually show the file location. If I click on it, it'll show where it's at. Let's see, right here. Here's where it is. And now I can move it to where I want. I can drag and drop it or do right click and move to whichever folder I want. Nice. If I was going to have a whole bunch of files to upload, then I would put them in a folder first, and I would upload them with this thing right here and upload an entire folder into Drive here. So this brings up something. Google Drive file stream. Do you know what Google Drive file stream is?
No.
People? So do you remember PCC, if you've worked here for a little bit, we used to have an F drive. It was our personal network drive. And we're supposed to store stuff, like have our applications, like if you're using Word or any other application, store stuff on that drive so it's not stored on your hard drive, right? Because something could happen to your computer and then you could lose everything. So we had this F drive, and it was our personal drive, and we had the H drive, which is our departmental drive. We share files with our department in the H drive. They're network drives. And so the F drive went away, and we replaced it with something called Google Drive file stream. And the directions of how to use that, let's see if I have them here, right here. I'm going to put this in the chat box here. So directions on how to get this going on your computer. If you have a PCC computer, it might already be on it. If it's not on your computer already, then you can call the service desk at 4400 and they can help you with that. They can help you get that installed. But what that does is it does this. I'm going to stop sharing for a second because I got to share. I'm only sharing a window right now, but I'm going to share my entire screen so you can see this. Okay, should start sharing again real quick here. Yeah, so let's see here. In my File Explorer thing, are you seeing my File Explorer? All my files here? Great, great. So I have my Google Drive file stream right here. It's a folder. It's just like a folder. It looks like it's part of my computer here. When I throw stuff in there, like I can grab anything from my desktop, right? And just throw it in there. I'll drag it in there. That will sync up. Oh, come on. Okay. It works. It does. It really works, believe me. When I throw stuff in there, that stuff will sync up with my Google Drive, stuff here. So it's quite handy. You don't have to log into your browser, go to Google Drive, and then upload stuff like I showed before. You could just throw stuff in that folder when you get it all set up. It's pretty handy. Another thing is that it will keep stuff in Microsoft format in that folder pretty well. In Drive, it always wants to convert stuff to Google Drive format, Google Doc format, let's say. And what that means is it converts it into a Google file, but then you can edit that file with a bunch of different people, one file, and that prevents the thing from, like, I used to create banner accounts, and we had the banner account spreadsheet on the H drive, and so I would go to the H drive and I would download the spreadsheet. I would add another account in, person's information, their account, all their account information, and I would upload it. And I was always worried that somebody else is doing it at the same time, right? Like I'd upload it and then things would get out of whack, right? Also, when you start doing that kind of stuff, sometimes people will make another file, and it makes things really confusing. Like you have the same file, with the same name. Maybe it'll have a 1 or a 2 after it, whatever. It gets really confusing. If you're in Google Drive, you can have just one file, a Google Doc. In Google Docs, there's spreadsheets, there's slides. So Google Docs is the equivalent, or it's akin to Microsoft Word. Google Sheets is akin to Excel. Google Slides is akin to PowerPoint. Google Forms down here is akin to SurveyMonkey. So you could send out surveys to people and get information back. All of these applications here have the ability for you to collaborate in real time. More than one person can be on one of those documents and edit it at the same time. It's quite handy. They also, I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's handy to have it in Google format. However, sometimes you've worked on a document in Microsoft Word and made something really beautiful. And when you try to upload it into Google, it turns it into a Google Doc, and all of a sudden your formatting is like whack. It gets all crazy. It gets all moved around. Sorry, that's the wrong word, but it gets all moved around, right? Not good. So in that case, you can keep your document in Microsoft format. You could upload it, but just keep it in Microsoft format. So the thing that drives all of that, whether it converts it to Microsoft to Google format or not, is over here in the gear. This gear here, which the settings are below. When I click that, it gives me my settings, and I can access them. And there is a box right here, convert uploads. So if you have that clicked, it will automatically convert something to a Google Doc. If you have it unclicked, it asks you. And if you have a really nice document and it keeps getting out of whack when you try to, really nicely formatted Microsoft Word document is what I'm talking about, and you upload it and it keeps getting messed up, decheck this box if you have it checked, and then it will let you upload it and keep it in Word format. Here you can change your language settings. Here you can add an extension to your browser that allows you to edit stuff offline. That's pretty handy. This right here is the density of your screen, right? Just like an email, you can make it bigger or smaller. Suggestions, these are pretty nice. So quick access are these boxes up here. It keeps stuff really handy. And it's stuff that you've worked on recently, and the computer tries to anticipate what you need there with an algorithm. So if you click this, it will make relevant files handy when you need them in quick access. Now, relevant files are what the algorithm deems are relevant based on a whole bunch of stuff. So I like to have that. It works pretty well. It keeps stuff up there that I've been working on recently. Surface important people and files and shared with me. It's talking about this drive over here on the left, shared with me. When I click on that, it has stuff that's been shared with me, right? Now, the settings thing is, if you have this clicked, it will surface important people and files and shared with me. That means it'll put it to the top. Now, again, relevant and important here are determined by Google's algorithms. It keeps track of who you correspond with, what you do, everything you type in, etc. And then it makes judgments based on that. Now, if you don't want that to work, you can deselect these. It's still going to keep track of what you do, but it won't do these functions. Make priority my default homepage. So that is when I come into Drive, it goes straight to priority page, just like I showed, just like when I came in here earlier, it goes straight to priority page, which I like because that's all my stuff that I'm working on right now, current stuff. Now, over here, you can turn on notifications about several different things here. So, newly shared items. You want to get notified when somebody shares something with you. Request for access, when people request. So, if you come upon a document and you can't get it, you can request access, like if you don't have permission to see it. Comments and suggestions and action items, keep that clicked, I would say, because somebody might put a comment or an action item in a document, and if you have it declicked, if you have it deselected, you won't get notified. Okay, and this stuff should all be selected by default to begin with.
So I do have a question, Deborah.
Go for it, please.
I use this. So what we're going to do for interpreting, I may have a professor's lecture sent to me. I'll interpret it, and then I need to put it in a file and upload those to Donna in the Disability Services Office, so she can then combine the interpreting and the lectures, send it to the deaf student. So is this something I would use for that?
Yeah, you could use it for that. Let me show you what I would do just off the top of my head from your description. I would come over here to new, and then I would create a folder. And this is going to be handy for many of you. And let's see here. I'm going to call this a shared folder. When I create this, it comes here, right? See that folder right there. And so if I right click on it, I can right click on it, or I can come over here and click this little head thing, okay? I'll click the little head thing this time. Now, I want to share this. Now I'm going to share this with Deborah Harris and Ed Lipple.
So
we're working on
to share it with others. Is it over here on the left also?
So let me show that again. Here's the folder that I would like to share, right? Yeah. Oh, actually, it's this one, shared folder. It's called shared folder. Okay, I clicked on it, right? There's nothing in there yet, right? There's nothing in there yet. I'm just going to right click on here, okay? Right click, and then it gives me this menu. See the menu here?
Yes.
So once I right click, it gives me this menu, and then I can go to share. And now I can start putting in people's names. So I'm going to put your name in. So Deborah Harris, and then Deb Lippold, I'm going to put here. And I'm going to say, hey, I will be storing interpretations here for you. Of course, I didn't spell that right.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to click send, right? And now then both Deborahs would get notified. They'd get an email that says, hey, Max shared a folder with you. And they would get this message too. It says, hey, I will be storing interpretations here for you. Okay. So once I do that, anytime I put something in this folder, anytime I put something in that folder, like if I drag this and put it in that shared folder, it's going to share it out with them immediately. And I don't have to do any sharing of the document itself because the sharing is driven by the folder. Now, that's a good way to keep track of stuff when you have large groups of people, right? Like you could share it with a class, for instance, or a work group, your department. You could have a department shared folder right here. And everything that you throw in there is shared immediately with your department. Or you could have a class folder, writing 121 section, whatever section it is. You can have several different ones and throw stuff in there and it'll get shared out with the people immediately. And you don't have to share it document by document. Okay, I'm going to check the chat box.
I had a question. It says, how do I copy and paste those links that you put on into a doc? I just tried to do that, and it says I have to install.
So which links are you talking about?
Those 2 links that you posted earlier.
Oh, yeah. So what you want to do is click the link, and then it'll bring you to a web page, right? Right?
Well, no.
No?
Oh, click on the link? Okay.
Click on the link.
Okay.
Then it brings you to the web page, right?
Yep.
And then come up here and copy that thing, the address. And then send the link or post the link to wherever you want. Yeah.
Oh, go up into, okay, I think I paid.
So at the top, yeah. So when you click the link, it'll take you to a web page.
Mm-hmm.
The link is the address of that web page. So what you do is you go up to the address bar and click on that address bar and copy that. And then you can put that wherever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for pointing that out. I didn't know that was happening in here. I thought you could just copy it out. Strange. Okay. So documents, right? So you can have a shared folder, and like I said, that'll share stuff out with people. Whoever you have shared it with, they'll get it. Anything you put in there, it'll share with those people. But
Just
let's say,
automatically.
yes, just automatically. I don't even think it asks you. Let's see, I'll throw something else in here and see if it asks me. I don't think it asks you. I think it just shares it with them. Yeah. So, but you would know who you shared it with, right? And you would do it for a purpose because you want to share it with probably a bunch of people, or you just don't want to deal with sharing document by document. I could grab several things here. Again, I can come over here and click on Control or Command, depending on whether I'm using a Mac or a PC, and then I can grab more than one thing and just drag it and drop it in that shared folder, and it will share immediately with those people. Pretty sweet. That's a nice shortcut. But let's say we're just doing a document, let's say. And see, here's something to note. See how it says W right here? See that? W. That means that those are in Microsoft Word format still. The ones that have these little lines through it are in Google format. So I'm going to grab this thing here. I'm going to open it up so we can see within the document. Okay. So I want to share this thing. And so it's important. Google Drive handout, moving, sharing, and not deleting. Yes. So I'm going to click share. Say I want to share with somebody, right? I click share. And then, okay, where's the share stuff? I don't see anything share. I mean, any permissions here. So I'm going to click this get shareable link thing, and it's going to let me see what kind of permissions I can do. The thing about clicking that get shareable link thing is that it automatically puts the document at anybody at PCC with a link can view, which isn't horrible, but if you only want it limited to certain people, you're going to have to change it, right? So when you click that get shareable link, it changes it to this automatically, but now you can see all the permissions as well. And so here's the first ones. Off, only specific people can access. If I click that, then I can start adding people in here. Deborah's come to my attention, so I'll just use Deborah as an example here. She's cool. I think it's okay, right?
It's fine.
Okay, so
here, Deborah's right.
Yeah, sorry. So anyway, here I want to add Deborah to this, and here's what I'm going to allow Deborah to do. They can edit, so they're a collaborator. They're building this thing with me, or re-editing it, updating it. They can comment. They're just going to give me feedback on the document, right? Or they can view. I just want to report out that I'm doing it to let them know I'm doing it. I don't expect them to comment or help me at all. I just want them to know I'm doing this work so they can view. That'd be like maybe a dean or somebody did that. I don't know. Depends. And I also put a note here, like something real specific so they know it's not a phishing email, right? Because it's going to come with a link, right? And so I would put something real specific like, hey, here's that thing. And then I click send. That's not specific. But anyway, you put something specific, right? If you have this box down here, notify people clicked, then they will get an email with this note here and with the link to the document. If you have it deselected, they won't get any notification at all. It'll just show up in their shared folder, shared with me folder. So there's some permissions here. There's that one, shared with only specific people. So if I share it like this, only with specific people, now only Deborah and I can see this thing, right? I can see it because I'm the owner and I've shared it with Deborah and Deborah can see it. But if I wanted a wider audience, and I can continue putting people in here, I can put a whole bunch of people in here if I wanted to. But at some point, I'm going to say, hey, maybe I better change this because it'll be easier to just do this. I'll change it to anybody at PCC with the link can view or can comment or can edit. When they get this link, anybody at PCC, they could edit it if it was set at this, or they could comment if it was set at this, or they could just view it if it was set at this. Now there's even more permissions. I'm going to click more here. Now you could make this document public on the web. No sign-in required. Anybody on the internet can find and access. There might be a very good reason you want to do that. Maybe you're doing some sort of PCC recruiting or something like that, right? People without PCC addresses would be able to get to this stuff. So it depends on your audience sometimes what permission you're going to set, right? Well, it always depends on your audience. But so anyway, But at this permission, public on the web, if I was doing a Google search and I put in the right keywords, it could conceivably just come up in a Google search. This one right here, anyone with a link, no sign-in required. Anybody in the world who has access to that link, they get it in a chat, it's on a web page or whatever, they get that link and they click on it, they can come to this document. No sign-in required. Now, down here is what people can do when they get here. So public on the web, if they come, they can see it. You can really limit what people can do, right? It's public on the web. I'm recruiting. I'm just going to make it so people can just view it, right? You could do comment too, because you might want to get feedback on something, depending on what you're doing, but most likely not edit, right? This is what drives what people can do. This is the wider permission here. So anyone with the link, no sign-in required, can view, or they can edit, or they can comment, depending on what you want to set it. So, and again, no sign-in required. Down here, anyone at PCC can find and access. Now that means that if I set this permission, then somebody could be in here and do a search and they could find that file conceivably. It might come up in a list if they put in the right keywords. What was the name of that document? Yeah, Google Drive. Like if they put Google Drive here, that document might come up for them if it's set at that permission, right? So if you want a document that can be found by other people at PCC, you might want to set it at this, depending on what it is. I'm always available to talk with you about permissions too. So please, if you ever get confused or you're worried about something, I could talk to you about that. No problem. So here's another one on anyone at PCC with the link. So this, if you set it at this, it will not come up in a search. It won't come up in a search, but anybody at PCC who has the link can get to it. What that means is, if let's say somebody outside of PCC got this link, right, and then they clicked on it, they would be required to sign in with their MyPCC account before they could get to the link, get to the document. So this is anybody at PCC with the link. So I've been told that if you're teaching and you're using D2L, that this is the permission to use. It sounds kind of weird at first. Somebody told me that, and I thought, oh, that doesn't sound right. But because it's anybody with a link, right? It sounds like a huge audience, right? Which it is. But you set it at this, and then you put the link in D2L, so only your class can get to the link, right? So that really limits who can access this document, right? Because sure, anybody with the link, but only your class can get to the link because it's in D2L. It's in your class. So that would be the permission that I would put for if I was teaching and I wanted to share a file. That's probably how I would do it if I had a D2L shell. Off, again, this is only specific people. So there's that. But then there's also this. So let's say I'm sharing this with Deborah Harris. I'm going to click Advanced down here at the very bottom, not at the very bottom, but bottom right. I'll click Advanced, and then I get these. Prevent editors from changing access and adding people. So if I let Deborah be an editor, can edit, set that permission, they can then add other people to this document as co-editors. If I want to prevent that, I can click that Prevent Editors from Changing Access and Adding New People box right there. Below that is the Disable options to download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers. So I have a colleague here at the college who likes to keep their documents really locked down. And then sometimes I'll go to try to edit one of these documents because I have to for something important, and I can't edit it because it's locked. What do I do? Sometimes I make a copy, which is, to me, it's antithetical to using Google Drive, Google Docs, because Google Docs for me is like one of the main drivers is it's only one file. If I keep stuff locked up, and this is a spiel to not keep stuff locked up so much with your colleagues, right? With your work group. So I make copies sometimes. But let's say my colleague didn't want me to make a copy, they could click disable options to download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers. This is only for commenters and viewers. An editor or co-editor could still copy it. But so that's what these advanced settings are. And I had forgotten to deselect that the last time I showed this, so it's good. Okay, so I'm not going to really show this with Deborah. I'm sure they've got enough emails in their box right now. That was a lot of talking. This has been a lot of talking from Max. I apologize. I like to have more back and forth. Does anybody have any questions about that stuff? Permissions can get pretty deep. I'll stop presenting now. Was that pretty clear? Or please.
This is Patty. I was looking through the templates in
Yeah.
Drive, and because we were asked to keep track of our time and what we're doing and stuff. So I did go to find a document, and I didn't think I could save that document for some reason. It didn't give me an option to save it. But my question is, once I fill it out for this week, then will I have to go back to the same document, the template, and then refill it out?
Let's see. What Patty's talking about is, and thank you for asking that, because I hadn't talked about that yet. If you come to this new button here, this is quite nice. You can come down here and see these little arrows in this column right here. It's asking you, do you want to make a blank document, a blank spreadsheet, right? A blank document, or from a template? And all of these are the same. They give you a blank document or from a template, right? So I'm gonna take a look at this from a template. Okay. This is like a Microsoft, I think they're called template gallery or whatever it's called. I can't remember what Microsoft is called, but there's a bunch of stuff in here that could be useful. Just like Patty said, they need to keep track of their time. They looked in here for something that they could use. So there are two tabs at the top right here. There's a general tab, which is like people from all over the world stuff that people have created and that Google is using as examples as templates for people to use, right? There's all kinds of stuff, project proposals. I think I've even used this. I used this for a project proposal a long time ago, I think. Training proposal, all kinds of work-related stuff, software licensing, all kinds of stuff. There's an education part here. So take a look at that when you get a chance. But there's also this tab here, Portland Community College. These have been created by our colleagues, and this is something you could do if you have something, you make something that's cool that you think other people here at PCC could use. You could press this submit template and add a template to the gallery. But let's go back to Patty's question. Okay, so I want to use a document. I'm going to come. Let's see, which one did you do, Patty? Which do you know what it was called? You remember?
Let me see. I'm looking at your screen and I can't.
Oh yeah,
see
no worries.
Well, but
here, let me just grab one. It shouldn't matter.
It had the time of day, every day of the week, and then where was that? It was.
It's probably over here.
I thought it was pretty. I liked it. I just thought, well, that's calendars and schedules. There it is. I think that might be it. You're on right there.
Let's just take this as an example, okay? Just even if it's not, it should work. So I'm gonna double click on that, and it's gonna open up, and then I'm gonna come over here. Come on, okay. I can never get as fast as I want it, right? Like, it's so funny. I think about days when I used to load up my disc in the machine and stuff. I'm so impatient. Okay, so I can change this title of this document. I'll just come up here and change this to template 1, okay? And then I'm gonna do like just put some stuff in here. Okay, cool. So there it is. Now I'm gonna close this. Now it should be in my drive. Let's see here. I'm gonna search. Call it right. Yeah, it comes right up. And so I could just go in and continue filling this out. Now, once I did that, I mean, it's weird because there's no save button or nothing, right? Like I just changed the title and put some stuff in here, and it automatically it's in my drive already. So you can just come back here and fill this out whenever you need it and share it with people. Did that answer your question? I'm not sure if I understood it. Did that answer it okay?
Yeah, I just was thinking, okay, so this week, when I start next week's, it's not going to go over the same file that I just created for last week,
Well, let's see here.
right? Because
No, it should be. You can, let's see here. Let me take a look at this again. So it's called template 1.
and I did save it.
So yeah, so here it is, and then so the first week I put in. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So this is only 1 week, right? Yeah, this is
Right.
only 1 week. So in this case, I think I would maybe copy it. Yeah, I copy it, right? And
Yeah.
I'll do Control C and then put my cursor down here and then just paste it and see if I could get. Let's see what happens. Oh, I didn't copy it. But you know what I'm saying. I would just copy these cells out and just try to make it repeat.
Either that, or I could go back to the original template, right?
Yeah, or you can do like template for
week of
or week 1 or whatever, like that. You could do that, or you might want to look in Sheets though, Patty.
Yeah.
So come over here to Sheets, go to New, Sheets, and then go to Templates, and then let's see here. I bet you they got some cool here. Yeah, so I would look in Sheets. Here's an attendance spreadsheet. You might be able to modify that once you save it. You can start modifying it. Biweekly time report. So come in here and look around is what I would say. Yeah, I would say the spreadsheet will probably serve your needs better. But use what's good for you. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm looking at my outline, and I need to talk about track changes and versions of a document. So just like in here's something you can do. Like let's just pretend I shared this with one of my colleagues, and now I'm here and they're not here, right? I shared this with maybe like 5 other people, and I wake up at 3 a.m. like I often do, and I start working because I'm bored or whatever. So I come over here and I'll highlight this. This needs to be changed. When I highlight it, see that this little box comes up, a little plus sign. It says add a comment. I can say this wording is horrible. And then I can say, I can do the @ symbol to call somebody out. And when I do that @ symbol, you see all of a sudden I get a list of people. These are people that Google's algorithm knows that I correspond with, right? But I could say, I could call out anybody. It could be Jim Templeton. And I could assign this to Jim. And when I assign this, they're going to get an email with a link to this page, and it's going to get a snippet showing this part and this little part of it. And it says, this wording is horrible. And maybe I should put, can you change it here? And I can assign it to them. Now, then when I sign it, they'll get an email, like I said, and then they can come and edit the document like I had asked. Or they could say, no, that's your job. I'm not their manager or nothing. But anyway, I'm joking around. So you can also, though, if there's more than one person here, which I should have got a plant in the audience, I could have had somebody come. You could be working on this document at the same time, and you can chat in real time and work on the same document at the exact same time. It's pretty nifty. Somebody asked a question here. Oh, yeah, that's not ready yet. Sorry, Hillary or Rebecca. But that's being updated right now. So there's a lot of stuff. I don't know if you know the story, but we used to have 3 IT trainers. Now we only have 1. And I was in the process of updating stuff, and then this happened, and I'm in a deluge of updates. That's on my list to update. So it'll be available when it is available. I'll put it in Spaces under our Google Apps and Resources here. Okay, we have this in Spaces. I'll share this link with you all so you can get here whenever you want. I just shared that in the chat box, but this has our stuff. These links go to Google. These ones are our local links, right? And so we have a cheat sheet on Google Drive, which I just created. It's fresh. This I would say is well, I'll say it. It's good. It's just a decent overview of Drive, right? So that you can get to that from this page. I'll share that link directly though, just so you have it. So, chat box there. There's the link to install FileStream. I think I shared that at the beginning, maybe. Yeah, but I'll share it again just in case you weren't here when I did share it. That is how to get Google Drive FileStream to work on your computer. If it shows how to search for it at the beginning, if you can't find it on your computer, it's not a PCC computer, it might not have it. If you haven't used your computer, your laptop or whatever you're using in a while, it might not be on there. You can call the help desk to help them have them install it. There's also this I want to share with you. It's about chats, and with Google, Google has an application right here. It's separate from chats, separate from this chat right here. That chat that I shared the link to, you can create rooms, and people can go there and ask questions, and it'll keep the questions there, and you can answer them whenever. I'm trying to figure out how to use that. I kept trying to put it on my signature because I created something called Max's Office, so people would come ask technology questions, but I can't figure out how to get the link to work, so I'm trying to work that out right now. There's probably a lot of good potential uses that we can use a chat with. So anyway, I'll go back to my document though, and I wanted to talk about track changes. If I come over here, the right-hand side, I'm in editing mode right now, which means I can do straight up editing. See, I'm deleting stuff right there. See, I'm going to delete that parentheses, the G, the N, right? It just let me delete it. Cool. I could put it in suggesting mode. So I'm suggesting to my co-editors, right? Somebody else wrote this and I'm looking at it. I'll put it in suggestion mode up here, right here, suggesting, and I can do this. It's like track changes, right? I can go, no, I think that needs to be deleted, right? Just take off the ing. It's totally wrong, but let's say just take off the ing. And then when the other person comes, the other editors come, they can say, yeah, I want to accept that suggestion. And they can go, no, Max is nuts. That's totally correct. Not deleting is correct. And it keeps track of, it keeps this stuff in here. Comment history is there. So anyway, you can do track changes here. You can set this to only just viewing, so you won't mess up anything if you're worried about messing up something. Yeah, so let's see here. I did not talk about searching Drive. And again, sorry, it's just a lot of Max talking in this session. I normally like to have more interaction, have you do exercises and stuff. I'm just trying to cram as much as I can in here. If I'm looking for stuff, here's my Drive. And my Drive is different from shared with me. If somebody shares something with me, I'm not going to find it in my Drive until if I click shared with me, right? I can come over here, and this document right here is owned by Arlette. It's not in my Drive. It's just shared with me right now. But I could right click on it and add to my Drive. Once I do that, now I can find it in here. It should be in there somewhere. I'm not going to look for it right now, but that's a distinction that that's good to know. But let's say I'm looking for something. I could look for something just with a straight up keyword search here. Banner. Give me banner stuff. Okay, here's a bunch of banner stuff, right? But I can go, whoa, that's like overwhelming. Banner is such a huge topic. Oh my God. I can click this down arrow and I can do, I'm looking for banner stuff. but I know it's a spreadsheet. I know it's a video. I know it's a presentation, right? Let's see if there's any presentations about Banner. I can further narrow it down to owner. Who owns this document? I'm going to say it's a presentation about Banner not owned by me. I could go for a specific person if I had an idea who the specific person was. Not right now, I don't know. Here is where it's looking. It's looking anywhere, which means it's looking in all of your drive and all shared with me, but it's not looking in trash. So if you look for something and you know you saw it before, try looking in your trash. This would mostly be owned by me though, right? Because you're not going to trash stuff that's owned by other people. So I'm looking for a presentation. It's owned by me. I haven't been able to find it. And I looked and I didn't find it at first. When I clicked the search button, it didn't come up. And I'm like, I know I saw that. I'd click search in trash and it would search in trash. Incidentally, this is the same kind of search that's in mail. When you do mail, search in email, Gmail, it does not search in trash or spam by default. You have to click these little things for it to search. So anyway, looking for a presentation on Banner. Could be date modified. It doesn't matter at this point, but I could say, I know we were working on it the last 30 days, last 90 days. I'm just gonna leave it any time. Do you remember any part of the name of the file? You put that here as the words Banner. That's what I put up here, right? It's just a strict keyword search there. And shared with, if I remembered who all it was shared with, I could start putting names here, but I don't remember any of that stuff. I'm just looking for a presentation with Banner right now. I'm gonna click search. Do I get anything? Yes, a whole bunch of stuff. Cool. All right, I can learn a lot about Banner with that. So, okay, searching. Yeah, anybody have any questions, please? And it could be about something else related to Drive, something that I didn't cover. Do you have any questions at all? Okay. So here's a nifty trick. I'll show a nifty trick, and this is what I think I'm going to show this next week. Let's see if I can get it to work. I think it is. Let's see here. Share this window. Okay, I'm in Chrome, and I can go. I think it's doc.new. Create a new doc. Just in the browser window, right? That's kind of nifty. I could do sheet.new. Boom, it comes a spreadsheet for me. So that's a handy little trick. Not a lot of people know that one. Well, I'm sure a lot of people know it, but maybe not at PCC. That's pretty neat. You could just make any document you want. It'll work with forms, slides. So you can do slide.new, doc.new, sheet.new, form.new. I didn't talk about forms so much, but forms, if I come here, you might think of a possibility how to use this in your work too. Forms, these are like surveys, right? And they have some templates here. I can take a look and see what they have. I'm not sure what they have. Let's see. Maybe something I can use. Okay, assessment. Here's an assessment. How did I do? So I wonder what that looks like. You could use this. You send it out. Let's just open that thing up. All right, so this is all like lorem ipsum stuff, but here's an assessment. It's already pretty much laid out for you. Just fill it in. It's not that great, but it'll work. It'll help. If I come back here, forms, templates, let's just look at the templates that they have available. Again, I'm kind of curious. Exit tickets. Find a time. This might be useful, like a doodle poll, right? Instead of using doodle, you could send out a survey to your colleagues to find a particular time you can meet. That might be helpful. RSVPs, event feedback. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Customer feedback. You can use these things. Here's some things from PCC. I wonder if we've had any. Well, here's one, case study group poll. travel authorization survey. And the way these got here was somebody thought that it might be useful to their colleagues, and they submitted this template. You know, I think everything gets accepted. I'm not sure what that criteria is, but I'm pretty sure everything gets accepted. So if you have something that's really cool, it doesn't have to be a form. It could be a doc, like an attendance sheet or something, or like a spreadsheet, some sort of budget thing that's awesome that you found out you created that your department loves, right? We all have those people in our department that do amazing things with Excel. When they do amazing things, you can ask them, hey, submit that template so we can get some oomph out of that too. Yeah. So that's like an hour of Max talking. I apologize.
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Go ahead. I hope you guys got something out of it.
So really quick, what you just showed us, you went to Chrome, and then where did you go for the forms, the docs, what you just showed us? What did you?
Yeah, so I showed that at the beginning. Let me show it again.
Yeah, it was fast.
I'll share. So here's what I do. I'm in email, right? I come to my menu here, and I'll come to Drive, which opens up this, right? And then I'll come new. It's this new button, this big new button right here. Click that, and then you can select. I want to do a doc, and then it says blank or from a template, right? Sheets blank from a template.
Okay.
Slides blank from a template or more, and that'll give me forms, and then I can go over here and I could do from a blank form or from a template. There's a whole bunch of other stuff over here too. You can explore, see what works.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Also on over here, there's recent documents, right? That's another way to find stuff, right? Like I know it's something I was working on recently. Just click that and that'll show you stuff you've been working on recently. Starred, I didn't even talk about that, but when you're in a document, you can star it right there. You can also sort stuff. You can move stuff. This document, I can move it to a particular folder from right there. Pretty nice. All right. I want to honor you all of your time. Please let us know if we can offer other workshops or demonstrations. I know this isn't like a real training because I'm not giving you any exercises or anything, but I'm hoping that I'm imparting some sort of tricks and tips that are going to be helpful for you. Let us know what else we can do for you, please. IT's here for you, and we want to try to help everybody out as much as we can. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for your work. Take care.
Thanks,
Max.
Take care.